Hey Physique Freaks, how's it going? Coach Scott here. I want to talk to you today about why the best dieters have selective amnesia. Much like you'll see in sports when the star player of a team makes a bad play or has a bad game, they'll learn from the experience and quickly put it behind them. And what you'll often hear when this happens is the sport announcer, sportcaster, will refer to the experience as the athlete having selective amnesia. Well, this past weekend, I blew my diet and I needed to have a little selective amnesia myself. It was Mother's Day, a day where, the last thing I wanted to do was track calories and worry about the macros going into my mouth. It's a day of enjoying the company of family, friends, celebrating together, celebrating the mothers in our lives. So there's no tracking that was going on, and really after 13 days of being in a 500 calorie deficit, consistently nailing that deficit, I was kind of ready for a little diet break. My intention was to simply eat to feel satisfied. I was fine with feeling a little bit of full, but I didn't want to make a pig of myself there. I just want to enjoy the foods without worrying about the calorie content and anything that I was consuming. And started the day off with a nice light, high protein breakfast. Just had some scrambled egg whites and salsa. Our first stop, enjoyed some delicious wraps. My girlfriend made some wraps with scrambled egg in them, turkey bacon wraps. There was some veggies and dip, and a delicious Greek pasta salad. She made a delicious meal when we went and visited her mom. And then as desserts, we had cookies and a pecan butter tart. Absolutely delicious. I left there feeling full but not stuffed. I was really satisfied. Then headed over to my parents' place where enjoyed 2 rum and cokes with my dad, and we just had a great time, a great conversation. Nice seeing my mom, seeing the work she was doing in the garden. It was just a fantastic day. And then heading home, I picked up some Buffalo Wild Wings. It was the Game 7, Toronto Raptors, baby. Oh yeah, playing the 76ers, and I wasn't very hungry, so I only had 6 boneless wings myself. My son enjoyed some as well. He enjoyed more than me, and had some fries too. So I was feeling really good. Like at that point, I was like, you know what? This was the perfect day. It was really, I got to treat myself. There was no tracking. I didn't feel stuffed. And this game was going on. I was like, man, hey, maybe I should grab some chips. And I don't know if I was justifying it by thinking maybe my son wanted some chips, but I knew it was all for me. Even though I wasn't hungry, I grabbed some sun chips, one of my favorite treats. They'd actually been in my cupboard for 2 weeks. These sun chips have not tempted me at all in 2 weeks. Really haven't had any cravings for anything throughout this mini cut so far. So grabbed those sun chips. First handful tasted great, loved it. Second handful was pretty good, enjoyed it, but then I was thinking to myself, you know what, I'm full, I don't need any more. And in that moment I should have just stopped. But then it happened, that fuck it moment where I just decided, you know what, why not have an all-out cheat day? I don't know how I even justified it, other than the fact that I've been 13 days in a row with deficit. Normally I schedule refeeds into my fat loss phases, mini cuts and all that. I didn't schedule one in here, and I really didn't feel like I needed one, but in that moment, fuck it, I'm just gonna have an all-out cheat day. So at that point, as I was shoveling those chips down my throat, it was no longer about enjoying the chips. It was no longer about tasting them. It was just shoveling as many chips down my throat as I could. I polished off that bag, felt pretty disgusting at that point, and then for some reason, grabbed the Kit Kat bar. Again, the first bite tasted great. Second bite, I was like, I don't even want this. Why am I eating it? I was basically forcing it down my throat, because after all, it's a cheat day. Everything goes. So I just shoved it down my throat. And then why I did this, I don't know, but grabbed a drumstick ice cream cone. And honestly, I can say I did not taste a single bite of that ice cream cone. I recall myself thinking during that time, like, what are you doing? Like, you're full. that you're not even tasting this, you're not enjoying it at all. Why the hell are you eating this ice cream cone? And the only thing I can think about like now is probably, it's got to be that caveman wiring in us where I'm kind of hardwired with that feast or famine within us, that where we're basically, even though I'm thinking there's plenty of food around, I can eat at any moment. The past 13 days, that inner caveman inside of me is thinking, that was a 13-day famine. We better eat as much as we can right now, just in case another famine hits. That's just my thinking right now. But why we eat when we're not even full? I mean, when we're not even hungry, like when we're so stuffed, not even enjoying the food, not even tasting it, you would just keep shoveling it down. I'm sure you can relate to that. If you can, comment down below. Let me know if you've had that experience as well. But the main thing is, like, I was stuffed. I felt gross because I was so full and bloated and uncomfortable. But what I didn't feel was guilt. I didn't beat myself up over the experience. I didn't dwell on it. At the end of the night, I just simply moved on. There was that brief moment where I was lying in bed and I had a bit of acid reflux and I couldn't get comfortable under the covers or anything, where I thought to myself, you know what, next time you catch yourself in that moment where you realize, you know what, you're not even enjoying this food, you're full, stop yourself short of gluttony, where you're going to feel this uncomfortable. Remind yourself of how you feel in this moment with the acid reflux, where you can't get comfortable in bed. It's not enjoyable. It's not a good feeling. So use this as a learning experience to stop yourself short the next time. So that was all the attention I gave to it, to learn from that experience, and then I moved on. So much like that star athlete, selective amnesia, learn from it, forget about it, put it behind you in the past, and just move on. And the next day, it wasn't about doing any extra cardio to punish myself. It wasn't about doing any extra work in the gym. It wasn't about eating any less and starving myself to kind of make up for that caloric difference. It's just get right back to the plan that was working for me for the previous 13 days. Get back to that 500 calorie deficit, eating the foods that I've been enjoying, and it's been basically effortless throughout this this process up to that point. So get right back to the plan. There's no, it's pointless. It's ridiculous to dwell on past experiences. I mean, life's too short. It's every second is precious to us. To waste it dwelling on the past, something that you can't change. I would much rather give my time, my energy to this moment at hand right now, where this moment is in my control. I can give the best of myself to this moment. I can't change what happened in the past. I learn from it, move on, but the best thing I can do for myself is to just give the most of myself to this moment right here and now. And basically, in the big picture, that night is nothing. It's going to have little to no impact on my transformation here. If anything, it had a positive impact, because that extra fuel that I had in me, the next day I had the best leg workout, hit some personal best on some of the moves at barbell Romanian deadlift. I absolutely kicked butt on that 10 reps for 295 pounds, felt incredible. So I had a great workout. There's so many positive I can take from it. The main thing is that these opportunities, these challenges that we face, these what we think are setbacks, are opportunities to grow. Take advantage of them. Take a lesson from these pro athletes and have selective amnesia whenever you have a bad meal, you go overboard with a meal, or you have a bad day in eating. Develop that selective amnesia, learn from the experience, and move on. Hope you enjoyed this. Would love to hear if you've shared similar experiences to this in the past, and post them down in the comments below. Catch you in the next video.